What's up everybody, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with a little bit of a weird thing that is happening with Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now we know that the game is coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and also the PC this April, but there's some rumors with some data mining going on that it could potentially be coming to the Nintendo Switch because of what those data miners have found. So this is people that are browsing the source files of the demo, browsing and looking around to see what is written within the text and the code, and a couple different references to the Nintendo Switch have popped up. So the first thing that we're going to talk about here within the demo is some prompts and in-menu text with a notification about an autosave feature. Now, alongside the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, there is text for the Nintendo Switch for some reason, as you guys can see right here. Now, it doesn't just stop right there though. There's actually another thing that prompted people to say, wait a minute, maybe this could be coming to the Nintendo Switch as well, because there is a Switch reference to the eShop. So as you guys can see right here, you see PlayStation 4, Microsoft Store, Online Store, and to the Nintendo eShop, all of them with question marks at the end there. Now, there's a lot of speculation going around. Obviously, there's speculation about a Nintendo Direct, which could be announced by the time that you guys are even watching this video, which of course I'll be covering that if there is one. But there's also speculation about maybe Capcom is going to wait for that. Maybe it's coming later in the year, maybe it's coming at an announcement, E3, Direct, who knows what's going on here. Because the RE engine currently that we know of at this point isn't on the Nintendo Switch. There are no RE engine games. Now, there are MT Framework games, so stuff like Resident Evil Revelations, the Monster Hunter game as well. So they've got some of their stuff on there, but they don't have the RE engine as of yet. And famously, it was years ago, before the Switch launched, Nintendo talked to Capcom, and Capcom were the ones who convinced Nintendo to put more RAM into the Nintendo Switch. So people have been saying, well, wait a minute here, you asked them to put more RAM, why isn't there certain RE engine games? But I think that that was just from a general like, hey, you need to put some more because this is what third-party developers are thinking about, or even to get games like, for example, like Revelations 2, getting the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of those games to come over to the Switch, pretty much looking identical and running better than what it would have ran if it didn't have that. So I think that's where that came from. Not that it was necessarily going to be the RE engine on the Nintendo Switch, or maybe they were thinking maybe we can get it done if there was just a bit more, and they just haven't been able to do it at this point. But it is what it is. They could just be toying around with the idea of it, or it could be a cloud version of the game, because we do have Resident Evil 7 in Japan, at least, that is the cloud version of the game. So it could be that too for the Japanese launch. So we just don't know at this point, but it is in there in terms of the files. And I think that if Resident Evil 3 came over, that'd be cool. But what about Resident Evil 2 Remake? What about that one? Maybe both of them would come over, because we didn't see that with Resident Evil 2 Remake in terms of people data mining. There was nothing there about the Nintendo Switch, but this one was definitely put in there for a reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in there. Just like in Resident Evil 2 Remake, there was nothing in there. So something's going on. There has to be some fire to this smoke, but we just don't know how much fire there is at this point. But we're gonna have to wait and see. So what do you guys think about this Resident Evil 3 data mining? Do you guys think Resident Evil 3 Remake or even Resident Evil 2 Remake could come over to Nintendo Switch in some way, shape, or form? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. It looks like Sony is not only going to be pulling Mario-related IP, as we've already talked about on this channel, but Sony's also working to pull a wide range of Nintendo-related IP from the game Dreams, following that Mario content removal. So recently, Sony confirmed to Game Industry that they are working to pull various different Nintendo IP from Dreams at Nintendo's request. Now, certain contents being removed were not given, but it would be expected stuff like you're seeing right here with this picture of Lunk. I'm pretty sure this is not Link, this is Lunk, will probably be removed from Dreams. Let's go ahead and get right into the quotations here. Sony Interactive Entertainment is notifying the affected users that an IP infringement notice has been received from Nintendo and that the content will be removed. We cannot comment on volume of content to be removed. This is done on an individual case-by-case basis. So this has went pretty much both ways so far when it comes to what content creators think, what the general consumers think. There's always been this invisible war between, I would say, like the fan gamers out there that want to be able to play fan Nintendo games, and people who think that no, it's IP, you have to protect it, and then people that are kind of like gray area, some people that are really strong on one side or the other. And I've always held the opinion that it would be cool if Nintendo would allow some of these things here and there, but at the same time you also have to kind of protect your IP so things don't get too crazy in the future and people making money off of what your likeness is, because I don't think anybody would want that. Like if somebody was using your likeness of a business that you ran, you probably wouldn't like that too. So I kind of see it on both sides, to be honest, and I think that there really is no right or wrong answer. The only answer would be, what is the law? What is the copyright law? And the law says a certain thing, and that's what Nintendo's doing. They are enacting their law to make sure that they copyright and protect their IP. And I think that if it was the other way around when it comes to Sony, and there was a game that maybe Nintendo made from a first party development, and you could create all these different Sony looking IPs accurately or somewhat accurately, I think Sony probably wouldn't like that either, right? So I think that would probably create an issue too, to where they'd ask Nintendo like, hey man, can you like not have that? Because Sony does protect their IP too, with like Uncharted and Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. So I think that it's a delicate situation for sure, but it's one of those things that's like an age-old war, the age-old invisible war of fan gamers and people creating stuff based off of Nintendo's IP, and Nintendo saying, no, you can't do that. This has been going on for years and years and years. This has been going on for decades at this point. We've had this so much, and it comes to the point to where I'm just kind of like, hey, look, this is what they're gonna do every single time. You can't make fan games and creations and stuff like that. You just can't do it. Nintendo's gonna be ruthless with this type of stuff. They've been like that before. The whole Metroid 2 remake thing, the Arma, that was like 10 years. They didn't care how long he was developing it. They just knew that they wanted it not up. And people were like, well, they're not making Metroid 2 or remaking it. And then it was funny because then Nintendo announced Metroid 2 Samus Returns, right, for the Nintendo 3DS. So everyone's like, oh, wait a minute, you know? So I think that's kind of where it comes down to, guys. And Nintendo's not going to really budge on this matter. So it is what it is at this point. So what do you guys think about Sony removing these Nintendo-related IP on Nintendo's requests from Dreams? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, we have something that just kind of goes to show you the amount of dedication and time the Animal Crossing developers have put into Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. So according to the developers of the game, Animal Crossing New Horizons has been in development shortly after New Leaf released on the Nintendo 3DS. Wait a minute, after New Leaf released on the Nintendo 3DS? That was well before the Nintendo Switch even came up to be a thought, because New Leaf released in 2012. 2012 in Japan. That's crazy to know that that game was in development, or this game that we're playing at this point, 8 years, 7, 8 years or so. That's just nuts. So it's pretty cool to see that. And as I'm playing through the game, and I think that I'm going to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons just a little bit, because this game is just so magical in some respects. You can see that there was years of care and love and crafting and things put into this. But it's interesting because since the game was in development a little bit after, in terms of like the process, like planning and all that, after New Leaf, they didn't even know what hardware that they were going to be on, right? They didn't know what the Switch was and all that. There wasn't dev kits probably for internal developers until what? Maybe 2015 if we're lucky with that. So maybe 2015 when Tegra X1 was out, right? So we have no idea what they were even doing. Maybe they were simulating or using Wii U hardware to kind of think of concepts and ideas in 2015, 2016 before they actually got a good dev kit for the Nintendo Switch. So that's just nuts to see, and that's just dedication to the craft, because Animal Crossing has so many little things put in there. You can tell that, hey, wait a minute, this isn't a game that was made in like a year or 2 years or even 3 years. This is a game that has been in planning for a very long time, because of how polished and because of how much stuff is in the game and because of all the little things, the nuances, the different, I would just say, stuff in the game. Like, you don't see that normally in games. I've never played a game outside of the Animal Crossing franchise that is like this one. We have games that have crafting, designing a room and everything like that, but the way that it works in terms of with the syncing with the real time and the way that you can craft and build and how the villagers react to you and what you can do, the Nook Miles and all this stuff they've put into this one in particular, I can see why it took as long as it did, despite its simplistic look to the game. It's actually very in depth with a lot of various different mechanics that you can do to kind of, I would say, enhance the experience, right? Or get more materials or take advantage of a certain situation, going to the different islands, right? So just stuff like that to me just kind of goes to show you kind of the time and love that they put into this one. And who knows when the next Animal Crossing game is coming. This might be the last one ever. No, I'm pretty sure they're going to make another one, but this one's going to be around for a long time because this is the first time that Nintendo can really have a basis for distributing content in a better way, because they skipped the Wii U, right? They skipped the Wii U with that. 3DS online was there, and you can get stuff in terms of New Leaf and all that, but it was a little bit jankier, whereas with this it's much easier to update the Switch, much easier to add downloadable content. And even for the first time ever for the Nintendo Switch Online app with the game is actually cool and used in a great way when it comes down to it. It's the best usage of the Nintendo Switch Online app ever. I love scanning in QR codes and putting in different outfits that people have made. You can dress yourself up in like the fourth Hokage or other outfits, Tanjiro. There's all sorts of cool stuff. Akatsuki cloaks. It's great. So I'm very impressed with what they've done when it comes to the game from a gameplay standpoint and everything that they've put in, because I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan before this game, but the Nook Miles and everything they've put in made me a fan of it going forward. So what are you guys' thoughts on all the different topics that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.